Ukraine has right to strike military targets within Russian territory, Stoltenberg says.
Here's a summary of the article.
Ukraine has the right under international law to attack military targets located in Russian territory, NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg said during an interview on the United News Telethon July 14. United States policy prohibits Ukrainian forces from using US-supplied weapons to strike targets deep within Russia. President Volodymyr Zelensky has called on Washington to lift restrictions, saying the ability to use long-range US weapons such as ATACMS within Russia and occupied Crimea would produce an instant result. In the interview, Stoltenberg affirmed Ukraine's right to self-defense. My position is that there is no doubt that Ukraine has the right to attack legitimate military targets on the territory of the aggressor country, Russia, Stoltenberg said. This is clearly defined by international law. Since this is a war that Russia started against Ukraine, Ukraine has the right to self-defense, and this includes strikes on the territory of the aggressor. This is absolutely clear to me. The US government in June gave Ukraine permission to attack Russian targets near the border with Kharkiv Oblast after Moscow's renewed offensive in the region.
This post received a score of 6,800, with an upvote ratio of 96%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Ukraine always had the right to strike back at invader. It is the donor countries that said "niet" until recently.
Terms and conditions apply.
The fact this has to be brought up is kinda sad. Fuck Putin.
I appreciate anyone who's not using capital letters when they name scumbags. Chapeau to you, my friend. And fuck Vladimir indeed.
At some point, they might also come to the rare groundbreaking idea that in order to end a war to your favor, you need to put your enemy under pressure by such means as striking back into their home soil. I know, totally far-fetched idea, but hey, if that would be allowed, Putin would be displeased and would totally retaliate. Again, just like after each single other thing.
I mean, he retaliated for Ukraine having an election he didn't like. At some point you have got to slug the bully in the neck. Repeatedly.
Why is this even a discussion? They shouldn't have had one of their arms tied to their back since February 22.
For the first time since 2013, New Jersey residents are being treated to the city's biggest fireworks celebration this July 4th. The 10,000 free tickets Mayor Eric Adams was offering have all been claimed, but a number of venues from the High Line to Hudson Yards are selling fancy $100 plus tickets to their rooftop parties and viewing points. There are still plenty of places to take in the great views for free, no tickets required.
I really don't think Russia has what it takes to afford a war against NATO given how Ukraine's conflict has been so far. A conventional war? No, of course not. Launch some rockets thinking that NATO won't respond? Maybe. NATO does respond and Russia then counter-responds and the situation continues escalating? Very real possibility. That situation escalates to the eventual use of nukes? There is a non-zero chance. So NATO is taking the safe route of not risking it.
Go for it, Ukraine. Preach, brother.
What the fuck is this article? He is stating the obvious, as if he's green-lighting that, despite the fact that
it's a diplomatic way of disagreeing with the US policy. USA restricts usage of all NATO weaponry, not just what it sends itself. That is, US aid is contingent on Ukraine following US rules on anything we receive.
It's been third year of the war and Western leaders are still unable to come to agreement on a very basic matters. One country says one thing, another organization says another. You can't act like a pussies in front of dictators.
Area man says he agrees.
Long overdue.
Entire world should be allowed.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.